Hello, and welcome to episode 122 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, as well as a celebration of all the things Nintendo. My name is Kevin, and joining me this week to talk about the games that we haven't even played yet is Sean
Oh, there's a lot.
and Harrison.
I haven't even bought some of them yet, so
So yeah, what we decided to do, we're kind of chopping up a trilogy here. We talked about what was it we talked about last week for
who knows?
the Switch? Yes.
Stuff.
Who knows? It's been a million years. But this is the second part of the trilogy of wrapping up our memories on our Nintendo Switch. And what we're talking about this week is what we're going to be carrying over to the Switch 2. What do we have for our backlog of games? What is it that we bought for the Switch that we never quite got to? Oh, our most played games. That's what we talked about last week. So last week was the
Oh,
most played.
that's why we blocked it out because that was just a whole bunch of sad.
Yeah. And then and that so now this week we're talking about we went from most played to haven't played yet. So this is stuff we got into during the Switch era, and it's gonna be baggage that we carry with us into the Switch too. So I don't know who wants to go first. I've got a couple of games here. What do you want to do?
I'll go first. Um,
Okay.
on my backlog, okay, so games that I have that I haven't played. Okay, on my backlog, I have the Borderlands collection, which is one, two, and the pre-sequel. Um,
hmm
Diablo
Now,
2. Yeah.
here's a good interesting distinction. So, have you played Borderlands before? Because I definitely have games on my Switch, for example, like the Metal Gear Solid collection, where
Mhm.
I didn't put it on this list because I have beaten those games before. I just got them on my Switch. So, have you played Borderlands before?
Nope. Nope. No, I've played.
Yes.
No?
No,
Okay.
I've played like 10 hours of Borderlands 2, and then I really have not decided if it's my kind of game or not. Um, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's getting harder and harder for me to play certain games like with my vision also sometimes.
Mhm. No.
But I do see the appeal, so I'm not giving up on it for sure. I'm still gonna pick it up because I do like that loot. I do like the loot.
Mhm.
Um, Borderlands collection, which is hundreds of hours if I were to get into it. Diablo 2 and 3, which are also hundreds of hours.
Yep.
Yakuza Kiwami, which I have not played because I was playing Yakuza 0. Um, I plan to play that like soon, probably like this month, next month. False Dream indie game got on sale. Last Campfire indie game, same thing. Finished Tears of the Kingdom. Uh, Limbo, which is the same people as Inside. I don't know why I haven't played it yet.
Limbo.
Just
Yeah, Limbo was good. I played that, not on Switch, but it was a good game.
yeah. I mean, Inside is well. Jumping ahead, it's one of the I think best games on Switch. But so Limbo, I'm expecting, same thing. Steam World, Hand of Gilgamesh, or Gilgamech. I don't. I'm gonna say Gilgamesh. That's the
What
card. That's the card
so
game.
what is that? Because is Steam World like its own like sub genre of thing, right? Because I know they
Mm.
have like Steam World Dig and
So yeah. So
there's
so
Steam World
SteamWorld
Build.
Dig is the Metroidvania. SteamWorld Heist is the tactical shooter. SteamWorld Hannah Gilgamesh is a trading card game which I've never played, but I got on
so
sale
Steam World is like you remember Pixel Junk
as an
was
IP.
like a brand for a little bit.
As an IP.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and then there is a a a world builder or a city builder or whatever it
Yeah,
is
Steam World
called
Build.
called SteamWorld Build. Um, which has really high ratings also. I got handed Gilgamesh or Gilgamesh because it was on sale, and I just wanted to support that company because I've bought all their games for $1, and the ones I've played are awesome. But we'll get
Yeah.
into that. We'll get
I'm
into
looking
that
at the
kind of.
SteamWorld build. I gotta get this. I'm looking at this. This looks really good.
SeaWorld build looks really awesome. Um,
I
and
played SteamWorld Dig, which is how I'm aware of the brand, but I
Yep.
I never played outside that. And yeah, this looks awesome.
all the games that I've played of theirs are really really good. So I have no reason to not think why the other games that are highly rated wouldn't be good. SeaWorld Dig
We
I've
just
played
added to
through.
my backlog live
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would play it if um yeah, I already play so many other logistic or games that are kind of similar to that. Anyways, I need to finish Blasphemous. I need to
Mhm.
do a run of Panzer Dragoon because I have it. I bought it like years ago, but never played it. Lego DC Supervillains, I would like to complete, not or like finish. I mean, um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then Skyrim. I don't know, like
You're
Skyrim. I
never
guess.
gonna finish
Yeah,
Skyrim.
yeah,
That's just a you get bored and play it.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. Exactly. And I've been looking at this like most popular like modded Skyrim, which turns it into like a more of like a collectathon. I know it's already kind of like that, but the Skyrim mods is like a whole other it's like a whole other thing. There's so many. And so that's it for me, guys. Besides like there are I was looking through the eShop getting ready for this episode. There are a number of games and even some that were announced like this week that will be going on my backlog because I want to play them. And NSO Switch Online, there's so many. Um
Mhm. Oh yeah.
like got the opportunity to play Earthbound this year, so perhaps I play Chrono Trigger this year. Yeah,
I
there's
don't
so
think
many.
that's not on a NSO that, but they keep talking about re-releasing it. That's the one that I've been
Chrono
frustrated with because it's not, with the exception of Steam, it's not available on any modern console.
the other
Like
one.
it's not on PlayStation, it's not on Xbox, and it's not on Nintendo. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, that's the one that you say. It's Chrono Cross. There we go.
Oh, you were talking about Chrono Cross. Okay.
I don't know. I put it in my notes as Chrono Trigger. I don't know why.
yeah.
I don't know.
I've got a lot of thoughts on Chrono Cross for you.
I would play that if it was on it. So yes, I would
I
put
just
that.
finished it.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
finally finished it.
I just finished Chrono Cross. I got a lot of thoughts. That's for another episode. Um, yeah, might as well segue into mine. So I've got a lot of RPGs. Speaking of turn-based stuff from the PlayStation era, like I picked up the Suikoden 1 and 2 collection. Haven't started that yet. It's one of the last games on this list of like games I played as a kid, but never really fully dove into because I was borrowing them or I
Uh-huh.
rented it or whatever. So Chrono Cross was on that list, and I finally finished it. So I'm crossing them off one at a time. There's one on that list that I don't think they're ever going to re-release, which is Xenogears. So I'm probably gonna have to play like a ROM or something for that. I really want to finish Xenogears in my lifetime. Um, and then Lunar HD Collection, same deal, PlayStation era game. Um, Always wanted to play those games. They were like prohibitively expensive for the longest time, unless you wanted to play a ROM or play a touchscreen cell phone version. They, if you wanted to play the actual discs, they were, like $200 games. So waited, and they finally put out an HD collection. And I got it, but I haven't played it yet. So that'll be coming with me to the Switch too, carrying it over. Um, And then there's Echoes of the Plum Grove, which I don't even know how I found out about this game. I don't remember where I learned about it, but the art style really jumped out at me, and I got it on sale. And it's basically like Paper Mario Harvest Moon is how I
Okay.
describe the art style, but it's also like set during a time period. It looks like it's during like um, you know, the characters kind of look like pilgrims almost. Being from New England, that kind of speaks to me. And yeah, and it's got survival elements too. Like I saw in the menu, you can toggle stuff on and off, kind of like you can in SimCity. But like there are like deadly viruses that can wipe out characters of the game or like even you. And then you have to transition to another character. Um, yeah,
Oh, so it's got a little of the roguelite thing
it's
going.
yeah, it also kind of reminded me of like Oregon Trail in that sense
Mhm.
because it's trying to have like a little historical accuracy there. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's got a little but you can turn it off if you just want to have a farm sim.
You
Uh,
wanted more echoes. You didn't get enough echoes with Zelda, and you wanted more echoes, and you got it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then I have Doom 3 and Doom 2016. I'm not a very big first person shooter guy, but I did grow up in the 90s, so Doom obviously is something that stayed with me. Uh, Like I got these in a collection when for 20 bucks. I remember I
Yeah.
still remember the deal. Yeah. $20 one day you got Doom, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64 and Doom 2016. So I was like, yeah, I'll jump on that.
So
And
Doom 2016 is really fun. I still like it the best of the 3 recent Dooms.
okay, good to know. And then Doom 3, I've read articles about it. I read like how the developers really couldn't win. I mean, I haven't played the game yet, but the one thing I read was there's some mechanic with a flashlight that
Yep.
when they first released the game, players hated it. So then when they did the re-release, they fixed it and
And people were mad.
people
Yeah.
complained about them fixing it too. They were like, "Hey, we liked that added challenge." They were like, "What the heck? You guys hated it when we did that." So they couldn't win with the flashlight. Uh Dragon Quest 3 has been on my Switch forever. Really need to finish that one. Played 1 and 2. Dragon Quest is a series I want to get into, but I'm crazy and I always tend to play series in order. So, I'm up to 3. Still haven't played 3. It's just sitting on my Switch, but I
And
have
this
it.
is the pixel remastery one, right?
Yeah, so I got it like years and years ago before the HD remasters were even a
Okay.
thing. So this is just like yeah, you're right. It's probably equivalent to the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. It's basically the one they made for the phone and they put it on systems.
And when the
Yeah.
new one comes out, that will be going on my backlog. But is that this year or next year? I
Yep.
can't. Is that this
I
year?
think it's this year.
I can't remember
So
seeing
I'm
it.
hoping
Yeah,
they're gonna bundle those together and then I'll get them.
1, 2, and
The
3.
HD 2D ones.
The HD ones, yeah.
I like if they. I like to see a bundle of 1, 2, and 3 together, and
Yeah.
and
Then I
then
jump on it.
and then that would be a great way for me to just kind of jump off into the series,
Right.
because I've been looking for a better excuse.
Oh, 3 came out first.
Yeah, 3
That's
came out
right.
first, and then they're redoing
Yeah,
1 and 2, but I couldn't remember seeing it.
because that's how they
Yeah.
go chronologically, the games.
Mhm. 'Cause it
It's like
makes
So
it's like
sense.
Star Wars. Sorry, go ahead.
but
Yeah.
obviously gameplay wise, they don't go like that. So one thing I do want to bring up is every time I'm thinking about these games, the first Dragon Quest 1, and I'm sure the HD remake is the same way. It's really fun in the sense that it is the most basic JRPG you could think of. Like there's no fancy mechanics. There's nothing. It's just level your character up. You get more hit points, more magic points. Like just
Yeah.
bare bones RPG. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I love about it. It's a lot of why I like the first Final Fantasy game as well. It's like they weren't trying to reinvent the wheel yet. It's just
Mhm.
bare bones what you expect out of an RPG. So, and then Dragon Quest 2, I remember added a party because in the first one you're just a single player. And then
Mhm.
2, and then in Dragon Quest 3, I think is the first time you have multiple people in the party. But anyway, Mega Man 11. That's another one on my list. It's been on there. I wanted to play through the Classics collection before I jump straight into 11, even though, as we've talked about, I've beaten the Mega Man games 1,000 times. I've bought them on every single system. I just keep buying Mega Man Classic over and over again. Switch 2 is finally a system where I won't have to buy them again because
Yeah.
my Classics collections will just transfer over. Uh, that said, I'm in the middle. I'm playing Mega Man 7 right now. I was just texting Sean about it right before we recorded. Mega Man 7, very underrated entry in the series. I know the different art style put off a lot of people, and it even put me off for the first couple of minutes, I'm not gonna lie. But you get used to it, and eventually you start realizing that it is such a hidden gem that did so much to move the series forward. Especially when it comes to like having stuff hidden in the levels and stuff. So yeah, anyway, Mega Man 7 is not on my backlog, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. Mega Man 11, that's the next one.
I
Uh,
played the demo for 11. I don't know how I feel about it. So once you
okay.
actually play it, let me know because you're the Mega Man guy. I enjoy them, but not on the level of buying them every time they come out. So.
And then only a few left here. Steam World Build is a game I've wanted ever
Mhm.
since I heard about it. Just couldn't help but throw that into my backlog. Octopath Traveler is the last game on my Switch that is there. I haven't played it yet. All the other ones that I haven't played, or at least games I've played in the past, like I said, like Metal Gear and the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, like they're on there, but I've played them on other things. Octopath
So
Traveler, I haven't played on anything.
Octopath, I think, has my favorite battle system of any of those types of RPGs.
Okay.
So it's really good. I enjoyed it. So that,
I'm currently playing what I'm now playing is Final Fantasy 3 in the Pixel remaster, and I think I'm going to go into Octopath Traveler when I finish
from that.
Final
Okay.
Fantasy 3. Yeah, I wanted to do a refresher on 3 because the next season of No One Can Know About This is going to be Final Fantasy 3. So it's a good podcast if you like Final Fantasy, by the way. Listen to No One Can Know About This. But yeah, they're tackling Final Fantasy 3, so I wanted to refresh myself on it. And then yeah, Octopath Traveler. And that's the
And
last one in my
definitely
backlog.
when Octopath 2's on sale again, grab that too. That one's good.
Yeah, it was on sale the same day, but I didn't want to like I could have bought both, but I'm like, let me make sure I even like this before
Yeah,
I
yeah,
buy
yeah,
both
yeah.
games. You know what I
See what
mean?
you think of the first one, but yeah,
Yeah,
it, I enjoy that series. I hope it's going to keep going. Uh
I think it
so
will.
backlog. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, 3, and X, but I have to be in the mood because we talked about it last week. Xenoblade 1 was 70 hours,
Hmm.
and I don't think they get shorter from there. So,
Yeah.
but I definitely want to tackle that. Darkest Dungeon 1 and 2. I have never beaten 1. It's a very difficult game. 2, I have never even loaded up. And I bought 2 even though everyone told me if you love 1, you'll hate 2. So at some point we'll see if that was a terrible
What is
purchase.
what is Darkest Dungeon? I don't believe I've heard of that.
So it's an RPG. It's got roguelite elements to it. So one of the mechanics the game has that I really enjoy is party members just kind of react to things. So you can be in a fight and pick somebody whose turn it is next, and they're like, "Well, I don't like that so and so's standing in back of me, so I'm not gonna fight."
Oh,
And
it's
then like the guy
turn-based.
in the back will like freak out and attack the leader instead of the actual enemy. It's got a lot of like stress mechanics, I guess is how to
Ah,
put that.
yeah,
You
So
know
that
how
I
you know how
liked it.
Sean is with the
Yeah,
stressful games.
yeah, it's fun, right? If your heart's not
ugh.
racing. then what's the
This is
point?
totally I'm looking at this, this is totally not my thing. This is a Sean thing.
Yeah. So my next one might be a you thing. Dredge, I haven't beaten, but it's a fishing sim with Lovecraft horror.
Yeah, it's
Is
So it's got
Cthulhu in it? Can you fish Cthulhu?
probably you might be able to. I don't know, but it's a cool little game.
yeah,
And
that's on my Steam backlog for sure.
yeah, okay.
Yes, for
Uh,
sure.
Where do these games get announced that I don't hear anything about them?
Indies. The like
yeah,
Dredge was it indie nominated? It
it was.
was
It was nominated.
yeah, it was a a pretty popular indie game. Came to Switch. It's been on my Steam backlog since it's been released. Just
Again,
haven't
that's
played it.
another game where as it gets dark out, madness starts to set in if you don't have any light.
Okay.
A nice calming. It's just like a short hike, right?
I
Yeah,
don't
It's just a
it's
my
calming.
anxiety, man. I
it,
can't.
it's the one like fishing game you're gonna have on your list outside of things like Skyrim or something like that.
Expedition 33 is a game I'll get to if they put it on the Switch too. I know about that one. Like, why
Well,
don't
there
I
you
know about
go.
these games?
Well, you don't know about these, but Morbid 1 and 2, uh, they're the closest you're getting to Bloodborne on Switch. And what's cool about it, so Morbid 1 is a top-down 2D, like Souls-like, and then 2 is a 3D, like
Mhm.
Souls-like. And it's that same, it's Soulsy, it's tough and you die and
So play
relaxing.
Morbid 1, Morbid 2, and then play Dustbloods. I guess if you
Yeah, that probably
yeah.
would be a good path actually. So maybe that'll lead up to that. And then Tales of Iron 1 and Tales of Iron 2. Again, Souls likes there's medieval fantasy. The first one is rats versus evil frogs. And then the second game is rats versus bats, and it's Viking themed. Again, just non-relaxing games for
That,
me, but I like
that's
the
cool.
art style. Geralt from The Witcher narrates them, which is
Really?
kind of great. Yeah.
Henry Cavill narrates it? That's crazy.
Uh, so here's some stuff you've heard of. So Castlevania Advanced and Dominus collections, I haven't beaten. Uh,
Hmm. Those
I've
go on
played a
sale
li-
a lot too. I always flirt with buying those.
I played a little of Dracula X. It is as horribly difficult as everyone says, so that'll definitely be a save state and rewind one.
Mhm.
And Dominus has, I guess it's the remake of Haunted Castle that I did play through, but that's basically an arcade game, so it was just kind of like interesting to play it. But I
Mhm.
haven't played any of the DS games or the Game Boy Advance ones, so I got to do that. The Jurassic Park collection, still haven't beat those. Eh, they got every
You
version
never will.
imaginable on there.
That's a save
And
state rewind. Do they have save states on the collection?
they do, thank God.
Okay. Because I was gonna say that Super Nintendo one notoriously
Yeah,
has no save. You have to do the whole game in one shot.
this is my only hope of beating it. So,
Yeah.
and then Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remaster I grabbed. I swear I've played the first one on PS1 100 years ago, but I can't remember. So I guess it wasn't that memorable a game. And I got them on sale, but I do have the Tomb Raider 1 through 6 remasters. I've played a little of Tomb Raider 1. They're
Yeah.
really interesting because it's such a different type of game from what it's become.
Well, it predates like analog control sticks. So it's like one of those old games that have the tank controls where you turn using L and R.
So you
Like
can play it both
it
ways, which is
oh, they
nice.
did an update on the controls?
And they kind
Good
of
for
made the
them.
graphics look pretty polygon, I
They
guess.
probably they kinda had to sell it to new players. Like, I don't think a lot of new players would have jumped into those PS1 controls.
But from the little I've played of Tomb Raider, it's interesting that that's like an action, you know, heavy, frantic thing now, and how it
Mhm.
really was exploring and puzzles, and occasionally
Yeah.
there's an enemy. So I get
Now
those
it's a
more out
quick
of
time event game.
yeah, yeah. So I get that more out of just gaming history, and because again, I played like a level at 2 or something on a demo disc, but I never got into Tomb Raider when it came out originally.
Mhm.
So the tail end there, you've heard of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
definitely.
and you reminded me that I have Witcher 3 on Switch. I forgot my physical game. I have a couple physical games that I didn't put on my backlog. Um, I also bought because CD Project Red's having a sale right now.
Yeah,
Last Christmas I bought Witcher 3 and all the DLC for Steam because it was 90% off. And it was like $5 or something. And I was like, okay, I guess
I think
if I want the
it's
DLC,
50 right now.
it's right now, yeah.
Is it 50% off? Yeah,
Yep.
for the
Right. It's like
complete
yeah,
version,
yeah, it's like
whatever.
$15 or like and then like $10 for the actual game. I have it physical because I got it in a trade sometime, but then I have it on Steam because that's more enhanced and yeah,
Yeah.
it was like 90% off. So yeah. Okay.
Well,
Other
as
game.
we've just established, indie games are not something I tend to gravitate towards, but
Mm.
I do think it's worth it to talk about going into the Switch 2 what our favorite indie games were on the Switch because Harrison put it down as a topic and I've got way less than him. He's
Oh,
definitely
he's gonna have way more than either one of us. He's the
more of an
indie
indier.
guy.
He's an indier, but so as someone who doesn't really play indie games much, some of my favorite indie games for Switch were obviously we talked about A Short Hike a few weeks ago. I'm not going to get too into my thoughts on that because that's going to be in our end of year. But indie games that I played, Stardew Valley. We all know Stardew Valley. We know everything about it, but one of my favorite indie games on the Switch, of course, Steam World Dig 2. This is why I was asking about it
Okay.
earlier. So Steam World Dig 2 was, I believe, a launch title for the Switch. And when the Switch first came out, I was on my second wave of my Minecraft obsession. So I was looking for anything that played like Minecraft, and I think this got recommended to me. And I
Yeah.
think the best way to describe it is if somebody wanted to combine Minecraft and Metroid, because it's a side scroller. You dig through caves, uh, kind of like Terraria, actually, side scrolly, but with better graphics and the progression is all Metroid. Like there's scattered throughout the map are different points where you gain new abilities, and the new abilities give you access to different parts of the map. It's Metroid. So definitely recommend SteamWorld Dig 2. I haven't played 1, but I assume it's the same thing. I
I
am gonna go
actually
back
did
to
play
that at some
one.
point. You did? Okay.
I played one. One was good. Two, I have. I haven't played it.
It's
I'm
really
guessing it's
short.
gonna be the same thing. It's just your different character.
Unless you wanna
You're like
100% it.
yeah. If you
Mhm.
if you like one of them, you're gonna like the other one.
Okay.
Two is I think slightly better. Uh,
Okay.
I forget which quality of
Are
I
life
there
think the only
or
reason I started with 2 is it was the first one they put on Switch. Like, I think they
are there different
retroactively put the first one
mechanics
on.
in two?
What?
Are there different mechanics in two?
I,
Harrison would probably
yeah,
know.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't remember. I don't think so. But
Okay.
it might have just been more of a flesh out story because on my list I put them right next to each other.
I
Uh,
think you're a different character in the second game because
Yeah, you
again, I
are.
haven't played the first game, but the main character of the second game I'm pretty sure mentioning the character from the first game because there's somebody she's looking for, and I'm like, that's got to
Yeah.
be from the first game.
yeah,
Anyway,
but
uh,
it's the same gameplay loop. Dig down,
Okay.
mhm,
get as far as you can, go back up, get your upgrades, go back down, get further, go into a dungeon, get some more
yep,
upgrades, go back
Okay.
up. But they're both like I would say about 5 hours. They are both fantastic games.
I
I'd say.
just finished 2. It took me 7.5. So yeah, you were almost right on the money.
Yeah.
And I didn't speed run it, so you could do it
Uh-huh.
in 5 if you wanted to.
I mean,
Um,
around five.
yeah.
It's a really easy gameplay loop to get into, as it is. It's like dig down, go up, get your upgrades.
And then if you want to 100% it, there's more hours there for you there. Because all the caves have like check marks if you collected everything in it. And you want to get all the check marks. Anyway, I don't know if this counts as an indie, but Ukulele was crowdfunded. So I don't
Yeah,
know. Love the first Ukulele game. The second one, I'm not going to count it as an indie because, like I said, the
they
first
had
one
money.
barely counts. Yeah, they had money at that
Yeah,
point. But the first one, the HD remake is coming out soon. I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to keep supporting this franchise because I want a Ukulele 3. It's both games so far, completely different play styles, but both of them nail exactly what they're
yeah.
trying to do. Don't believe the hate. I have never read a criticism of Ukulele that I didn't feel like just misunderstood the game. Like it's
Yeah.
all stuff like, "Oh, this type of gameplay hasn't really aged well." And it's like, well, the whole point of the game is that they're trying to
Bring you through
recreate
that free.
that style of gameplay. Exactly. So
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
hasn't aged well for you, don't play it. But if you want a game that feels like a Nintendo 64 game, uh, re rediscovered, that's what Ukulele is. So it's got all the bad that a Nintendo 64 game would have, but all the nostalgia as well.
That would be
Anyway, moving on.
on my
Oop.
haven't bought backlog for sure.
I haven't bought backlogs. Oh my
Y-
goodness. Tears of backlogs going.
y- Yeah,
And
yeah.
then for sorry. All right, so for indies, I only I have 2 more. Golf Story we've talked about on the podcast, but that's another
Hmm.
game like SteamWorld Dig where I feel like it's the perfect amount of time to finish. Like right about the time you're starting to get bored, the game's over.
Yep.
And then Shadows of Adam is an indie turn-based RPG that I haven't seen like anybody ever talk about. The hook with Shadows of Adam is they did this thing where instead of magic points for your spells, they each use a different percentage, and your MP basically refills at the end of each battle. So like a really strong spell will take up 100% and that's the only thing you can do that battle. Or you could combine different like 20 and 10 and 5% spells however you want. So yeah, it's a really cool game. It's a JRPG, Shadows of Adam. I recommend it. I don't know why I've never seen anybody ever mention it.
So
And then I got Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. I'll throw that in
Mhm.
there. That's a good indie.
I feel like that's not an indie at this point because of how much they've
Yeah.
re-released it.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised they haven't gotten to the point where they have like what do you call it? Uh, like a triple A like Assassin's Creed style Shovel Knight game.
Well,
Like
oh,
well,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, maybe coming.
do you ever
I
think
don't know.
about like like it's like some indie games are so huge now, but do you ever think about
Yeah.
like some of these huge IPs like Shovel Knight, and if you were to just slap a Nintendo sticker on there, how much more
Oh
popular
yeah,
it might be? Like
yeah.
Cuphead would be my example. Like Cuphead was like almost a groundbreaking indie game, but I'm
Mhm.
convinced that if it was a Nintendo franchise, it would be astronomical. It would have been so much bigger than what it actually was, despite,
I mean,
it being out on every console.
Cuphead, they got me outfits for Smash Brothers for it, so it's pretty big if you can do that. So
hmm,
Yeah.
Harrison, if it's cool if I do mine quick because I know your list is
Yeah.
probably like 80 games. Uh, so Hyper Light Drifter, which is one you might like, Kevin. It's very Zelda. The I guess the gimmick with it is you can do the bosses in any order you want. So there's
Mhm.
not like a set, set way to do it. It's like a dystopian future, but it's very bright and it's got a really awesome soundtrack. Oxenfree, which I don't recommend for you because your anxiety will go through the roof, but it's a really good, creepy, like adventure game. And I don't want to ruin it. So it goes on sale occasionally. I haven't played two, but that I really enjoyed. Darkest Dungeon, we brought it up, but that's one of my favorite indies. Little Nightmares 2, I did enjoy the original, but the second one just atmospherically and I don't know, everything about that game like stays with you. Like it's unsettling. It's like my theme, unsettling, uncomfortable. Why are you relaxing? What's the point? I want to not feel comfortable playing games. So I'm excited for Little Nightmares 3, but I guess at this point they're not an indie anymore. As
That's why you
Harrison
don't
said,
like Stardew Valley.
I bought it. I
Okay.
played 16 minutes of it. I'll get back to it. I have a farm. It's named. That's about it. Cuphead. There's really nothing to say about Cuphead. If you want a challenging game that's just really well designed, highly recommend it. Dead Cells talked about that last week. Vampire Survivors talked about that last week. My one new addition is one you mentioned actually. 20 Minutes Till Dawn. I picked
Mhm.
that up on sale.
Okay.
It's really good, but I think I'm not going to be able to get to the 20-minute mark till it's on Switch 2 because it's like you get to that last 4 minutes and so much is going on, the Switch
Mhm.
has a hard time handling it.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I mentioned it last week. It's a game that I heard of recently where it's basically wave after wave of enemies come at you and you just have to survive 20 minutes. And it's 20 minutes until dawn when the monsters will go away. And it's
Right.
the waves get more and more intense. So I guess you're hitting that spot where you just you got to get good.
Yeah, so I got to get good and I need a little more horsepower on the console for it to
Oh,
handle it.
I got you. I see what you're saying now. It's dropping some frames.
Yeah, it really struggles once you get into that 4-minute mark. So, I mean, I'll
Okay.
keep playing it, but I think 2 is going to be when I actually can get to 20 minutes. So, Harrison, what are your top 300 indie games?
Okay, so I've been waiting to do an indie list for forever. So
Since
I so
since
I
you
so
joined.
so I do just want to I'm just gonna just like kind of list them. I won't talk about all of them, but it's important to just acknowledge that I just love the Switch so much because of the indies. And I think
Yeah.
if it wasn't for all these indie games, my relationship with the Switch would be different. It would be
Okay.
it's fair to say it would be different, at least in a way. Now for the Switch 2, I think that's going to be more first party because I have, options now as far as how I can play games, but
Yeah.
um yeah, just all respect to the Switch for not only having great third-party games again, but just opening up kind of more people to the idea of, you know, branching out, playing more indie games.
Yep.
37 I put on here. My last one on here is Hoko Life. It's the only one on my list that I hated. It's a it's an Animal Crossing style game, but it's super slow, and I don't know if they ever fixed it, but the NPCs are like the most creepy furries. And don't or like or however you want to say, they're like they're people dressed as animals. They're not like Animal Crossing. It's very
Okay.
off-putting.
Yeah, that's unsettling.
36 is SteamWorld Heist. We've talked about
Okay.
SteamWorld a lot today. It's a good game. 35 is Suika Game, which I was addicted to for a while. And then it created a million off-brand Suika games. It's the one where you drop the fruit and then you combine the fruit together. It's addictive. It's like Tetris. Um,
Oh, there you go.
34 is Mini Motor Racing X, which is just a sleeper game. Like, it's a game I played for like 30 hours to get all the upgrades, but it was like this like little silly game I got on sale. 33 is Turmoil, a game I was addicted to for like a week. You ever have those games where it's like
Yeah.
you can think about this like one time. It's like, remember that one week in the summer where I was addicted to that game? Yeah, that was me. Uh 32 is Littlewood, farming sim, very good. 31 is Abzu, free game. Uh it's you just explore in the ocean. Nothing attacks you, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
It's very there's spots in there where you're supposed to stop and meditate, so I did that. I've never done that in a game before. I thought, okay, I'll just experience all of it. um, 30 is Anodyne. Played it back in 2018. Can't I can barely remember it. I
That was
brought
a
it
good
up.
game. I played that.
I brought it up on when we did a segment on games that are similar to Zelda games or games
Yep.
that could be Nintendo IPs or something like that. Uh 29 is Death and Taxes, awesome game. 28 is Dicey Dungeons. It's a dice roguelike. It is awesome. I could spend I could spend 40, 50 hours on this game. It's really, really good. If you want an easy roguelike to get into and you enjoy dice, play it. Um, 27 is Little Gator Game, which, spoiler, is a game I've been thinking about for an eventual like game exchange. This Little Gator Game
Uh-huh.
is it's very inspired by Zelda, and it's a little bit childish, but it has like a 98% rating on Steam. It's rated super high. 26, Crypt of the Necrodancer. I never played the Zelda version, but I finished the original version. It's cool. I don't like rhythm games, although I'm a music guy.
I bought that on sale and didn't understand what it was. I did not enjoy my time with that.
Yeah, rhythm
There
games.
are parts in the Plucky Squire that are inspired by that game where you have to
Yeah,
like sneak through going by the beat.
yeah.
Mm.
To me, that is still one of the craziest Switch announcements. When we
Oh
found
yeah,
out Crypt of
Cadence
the
of Hyrule.
yeah, Cadence of Hyrule. I was like, excuse me? They got Zelda? I was like,
Mm.
how did they
Oh,
get Zelda?
Plucky Squire. Speaking of indies, put that on there.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
25, Transistor, Supergiant Games. 24, Bastion, Supergiant Games. 23, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I never played the sequel. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. Uh, this one's awesome. It's just an awesome like again like if you enjoy like old school Zelda games and you want like a silly $5 game to play it. It's really really good. Super Blood Hockey, one of the best sports games on Switch. 22. Road 96, 21. Awesome game. Not as much direction as I wanted it to be, but for an indie game had a lot of uh it was very inspiring. It felt like playing a choose your own adventure style book almost.
Oh, okay.
Um
That's cool.
and it's very political. It's about trying to escape from the zone that you're in, and you die a lot, and you follow a lot of characters. But it's really cool. You get to pick like do you want to be a radical lib or do you want to be a conservative? It's like one of those games. Super fun. I have not played DLC. I want to play that. Eastward is 20. Eastward is phenomenal. If you enjoy Earthbound, play Eastward. Because it's heavily inspired by Earthbound.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I've that's on my interest list. We'll make a third tier.
Mm.
I'm interested.
it's awesome. and there's a lot of content in that game as well. It might be a little bit uneven, but if you can stand having games with lots of dialogue, but are still like really good games, I would try it out.
Mhm.
19 for me is Slay the Spire. I know people that have put over 1,000 hours into this game, especially modded. I haven't played it that much, but it's an awesome card roguelike. I just got more attached to Balatro when it came out. 18 is Nexamon Extinction, excuse me. Nexamon is an awesome creature collector game. If any people need reminders that there are other Pokemon style games on the Switch, if they ever like, oh, Pal World, blah blah blah. We have other games like that. 17, SteamWorld Dig. 16, SteamWorld Dig 2. 15, Cat Quest 2. 14, Cat
Love Cat
Ooh,
Quest.
Quest.
playing Cat Quest 2 right now with my wife, so hooray. I like that game.
It's awesome.
I've still only played the first one, but I loved every second of it. I fully intend to continue the series.
It's
Yep,
awesome.
got 2 now and 3's on deck.
3 I'm gonna get whenever it's on a good sale. Yeah, I mean, I was doing the B-roll for this episode, and like I was watching it, and I was like, just like watching Cat Quest, I want to like jump in and play it.
I'm
Th-
looking at Nexamon Extinction. Is there a farming aspect to it?
no, no, it's just a creature collector,
Okay.
but it's awesome because it's open world and it's scalable, so you can go almost anywhere in the game initially, and it's gonna scale with whatever levels you have. It's an awesome indie creature collector game that I got really
Okay.
obsessed with. Um,
Because there's
whenever
another
it came out.
creature collector game. I can't remember the name of it. I shared it on our Blue Sky. It's being crowdfunded right now, and that's what it made me think of because it's a farm sim combined with a creature collector. And I'm blanking on the name, but it looked really interesting, and it looks like it's done like almost in the style of the Game Boy Pokemon games. So anyway,
Well,
continue.
well, there is one on
Trying to find
Switch.
that game right now for you.
There's one on Switch like that. Moon Grove or whatever it is.
Oh, maybe that is it. I'm scrolling through the post.
Everything's a grove.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's the right name, but there is a creature collecting farming sim on Switch already um that I've looked at. 13, Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher 2 I expect to be on Switch 2 whenever it gets fully released. Slime Rancher is awesome. If you just I think it's a game like if you I think you're gonna know if it's your style of game before you play it.
Yep.
But if you enjoy just kind of exploring and mindlessly like collecting and then farming and then there's like no like huge like there's goals, but there's not like a huge outcome. It's a super just relaxing game. I think that's why I picked it up.
Oh, I found it. It's called Monster Patch.
Like,
On Stitch.
That's
Okay.
right.
Like you grow the monsters and then you collect them type thing. And it looks exactly like Game Boy Color Pokemon games.
Okay.
12 is Forager. I think Forager is better modded, but yeah, I love those automation logistic style games. 11 is Untitled Goose Game, which just every time I
Oh, yes.
every time I think of it, it reminds me of how old the Switch is because I feel like I was like a child when I played Untitled Goose Game. It was it was back in like 2019, and
Yep.
at that point the Switch had been out for a while at that point, but it still feels like it was like a lifetime ago because so much has changed since then. Anyways,
Yep.
uh, I forgot Golf Story, so I'm gonna sneak that in at number.
Hmm.
Oh wait, I mess up my orders, then that's gonna be number 11. I have two. Just move everything down, guys. Don't even worry about it.
2 number 11s. Okay, that's fine.
Golf Story's right there. Number 10 is gonna be Cuphead. Must play. Number 9 is
Yeah.
Yonder. Um, Yonder is like Breath of the Wild without combat. It's an really awesome indie game. One of the first games I played on Switch, so it's a little bit sentimental. 8 Short Hike. So these last 8 games are for like if you have Switch, you should have these games. Short Hike. 7 is Balatro. 6 is Vampire Survivors. 5 is Hollow Knight. 4 is Inside. 3 is Stanley Parable. 2 is Stardew. And 1 is Hades. Hades, favorite indie of all time. Stardew, have talked about it over and over again. Easily a top 10 game of mine. Stanley Parable is also a top 10 all-time game of mine. I need to do like a whole long episode or series on this game. Because there is just so much that I want to talk about. And apparently it inspired the show. What's that?
Severance?
Severance. It inspired Severance. Apparently.
Okay, I
So
can see that. That makes sense. Yeah,
uh
Hades I gotta go back to because I've only ever gotten to the 3rd boss, and you always make me feel bad for not beating it every time you bring it up. So
if you get past Theseus, you're gonna beat the game, I think. Like I don't know if
okay.
there's ever a time where I've gotten past Theseus and haven't beaten well my dad at the end. I haven't beaten
Yeah,
Hades.
yeah. I
Uh
figure you fight Hades.
yeah. So yeah, it's great. And Hades 2 will be coming out whenever it launches. Oh yeah, it's gonna be early for the Switch 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I saw that like Super Giant Games, and I guess this has been known about since early access, but apparently like they put their entire source code like it's all just open and out there, which is gonna make modding the game just even easier. I think it's cool when games do that, where it's like, hey, you bought the game, here's all of it. Here's how we made the
Yeah,
game.
that's cool.
Uh, so
Good
okay,
list. Good list. Not
that
not enough time to play all that. My
oh
I'm
God.
definitely gonna be looking into Yonder. I was looking at images of it while you were
Yonder is
talking there, and
so Yonder you'll love. Yonder is so
all
good.
you had to say for me was no enemies. Like, I'm always looking for, like, a relaxing game.
Yeah,
So,
You
yeah.
you had me till then. I was like,
like
eh.
like the
I
only
can
thing
just stress you out in real life while you play if you want.
yeah.
You're
I
doing it wrong. Hit the
I
button.
I mean, it's very fetch questy,
Okay.
and there's no voice acting in it. But hey, I mean,
Oh,
you,
I
you're
like all these things. I hate
you're a
voice acting.
Nintendo
I love fetch
fan, so
quests.
I mean, who cares, right? Uh, but yeah, I would say if you can pick it up on sale, Yonder is just this fantastic game that I never see anyone talk about. There's physical versions of the game, and yeah, guys,
I'm gonna be watching for a sale, and I'll pick it up.
yeah,
I'd
and
buy it
I
full price if I didn't have such a big backlog right now, but that's what
yeah,
it takes to get into the
I'm
backlog
pretty sure.
now. It has
Yeah,
to be like, "Oh my god, I might never see it at this price again."
yeah, I mean, I didn't even talk about, like, I have games like Vampire Hunters, Cozy Grove. There's other indies that I
Mm,
didn't put on my countdown list because I haven't either played them or haven't played them
no, The Grove.
very much.
Oh,
S
the groves.
so yeah, Cozy Grove I gave up on. I put that on here. I gave up because I didn't like it, and I was like, "Whatever." But Vampire Hunters, I wanna play more because it's like a Doom style Vampire Survivors.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about, where it just keeps adding guns. Yeah.
It's 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 wild, but I think it's pretty cool, and just as long as my vertigo can stay okay, then I'm gonna try and play it. So yeah, we're at 55 minutes. Do we have time for Tetris?
I think so.
I think so. Okay.
There's not a lot to
Yeah.
say about Tetris, right?
I want to nerd out on the NES stuff just for a minute. I really do. I've been wanting to talk
So
about
our
it.
s- so our spotlight this week is Tetris for the NES, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color, as well as Columns
Column.
for the Sega Genesis. It is a Nintendo Therapy versus. We're
Seems like
pitting them
we
head to
snuck
head.
in the. It's like, hey, we're having a Tetris meeting, and Columns like got in before the door shut. I'm here too. No one cares. Sit by the donuts.
So chronologically of these games, obviously Tetris came out first. The Game Boy
Uh-huh.
version came out in 19 June of 1984, and then the NES
89.
version came out years later in 89, which I thought they were closer together, but I don't know. It took them a few years to be like, you know what? Let's put this on everything we can. So one thing I found that I never knew before about the NES version of Tetris is that in the NES instruction booklet, the blocks have names, which I don't know if any of you knew
I
this.
guess that's not the weirdest thing, but okay.
Well, the weirdest thing is when you find out what they are called. So the L block is an orange Ricky. I need to remember that. The
Okay.
backwards L is a blue Ricky. These obviously
Okay.
correspond to their colors in the game. The Z, the one that just looks like a Z,
Yep.
is a Cleveland Z. You're gonna love this one, Sean. The backwards Z is a Rhode Island Z.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Little shout out to us.
um, the best one, in my opinion, is the box, the square box. That's called Smash Boy. And the one with the lump in the middle, I don't
The
really know how
T?
to describe that one.
The
Uh,
T?
that's Tiwi,
T.
and the and then the line is Hero.
Wow. Well, I
Those
guess kudos that they took the time to even do that. Like,
I wish there were mascots.
I feel like they
TV
had to fill
show.
pages of a Tetris manual,
I
and they were like, "What
guess.
else do we put in here?"
No, I feel like they needed character names.
Okay,
Just in case there was gonna be a manga or something, just in case there was gonna be an anime, you know?
the fall of Rhode Island Z.
That's
Smash
probably
Boy
a real
returns.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting because, like, of course, the creator of Tetris is from Russia, and I wonder if he had even gone to Rhode Island before naming it that.
Yeah,
It would be like finding out that John Denver never went to West Virginia before writing Country Roads,
Country roads.
which is true, by the way. He never had been to Rhode Island. He'd never been to West Virginia before writing that song.
He hadn't been to Rhode Island while he was writing about West Virginia for country. Yeah, that
He'd never been to West Virginia before writing Country Roads, which I thought was like interesting. Like, oh, I would assume that you had been to that place before.
I also learned this week that apparently Sega tried to get a version of Tetris on the
Mhm.
Genesis. It's just Nintendo obviously had the console rights, so they couldn't get around it no matter how they tried, and that's kind of how Columns came to be.
So the mini Sega one has that version of Tetris, and it's awful.
What version? The
The
unreleased one?
Sega Genesis one. It's on there. That's their big that's their Star Fox 2.
Yeah,
Really,
So you
because it
can
was
play the
unreleased, right? Yeah. Okay.
unreleased Sega Genesis Tetris, and it's terrible.
really, it's
That was
interesting.
their Star Fox too. I like that.
It's interesting.
Um, my main memories with Columns were the Game Gear version, which
Yeah, the
The
Game
pack,
I'm s-
Gear. Yep.
the packing game,
I'm
yeah.
kind of surprised they don't have Game Gear on NSO. Like, it might as well put it on there. Not that there's much worth playing on it, but
Yeah, my memories of columns was Sega Dreamcast. So, yeah, I wrote down that
Oh,
it feels more like a licensed IP because it's been relicensed, especially for mobile, like just tons of times. I mean, it
yeah.
was licensed by Yahoo Games, which if
Mhm.
you're like Yahoo has a game, exactly, right? So that's the way I've always thought about it. Is like it feels more like almost like a concept, almost like a concept of a game that gets trademarked out to other companies. So yeah, it's made money. It feels a little bit more lifeless. I do have some nostalgia playing it on Sega consoles. Uh, Tetris NES, I'm not a collector. I think it would be super cool to have the 10 gen cart. And it's even like, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's black or it's like a darker color cart. Um, but I look on eBay, I don't know how rare they are because you can find them for like around 100, 200. So I would put in that kind of like rare, not ultra rare, I guess. And
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's rare but obtainable. It's
yeah,
like that level. It's not like a well, everybody jumps to the golden what was that
Oh,
tournament Nintendo World
yeah,
Championships cart. Like
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
jumps to that, but like
yeah,
no one's got the money for that.
yeah. And
Yeah, it's about 200.
the appeal for that game outside of collecting is that there's a two-player um there's a two-player part of the NES game on the 10 gen um version of it. So I gotta say it, Tetris has some of the coolest like the development of like just the game itself has just been so amazing to watch. Like, I
Yeah,
want
they
to
made a
walk.
documentary
There's been multiple documentaries
and
on
a
it,
movie.
but
Yeah,
Like a
that's it. There's a movie too.
yeah.
but I'll walk through just a couple of the things up to recent for people who have not ever heard about any of this. For the longest time, um, they believe that level 29 of Tetris NES was the highest level you could go because the blocks would drop quicker than what people had thought you could actually move. And that's
Yeah, those
where
people who flick their controllers came along.
that well no that comes
That's
later. That comes later. So hyper tapping is where level 30 comes up. So 20 so
oh, okay.
in 2011 um hyper tapping is innovated and it's not the rolling part yet it's the I don't know how to do it but it's basically it makes it so you're actually faster than what the blocks are dropping
And the
and
pieces.
and
Okay.
at level 30 it drops at point 0.6 seconds and I
And the
don't
first few levels must be excruciating for those players. Like, come on.
well you can always press up and get through it pretty quickly
Yeah.
so level 30 was not achieved until 2011. So for 21 years, they thought level 29 was the kill screen. So level 30 was achieved, and that was kept. Level 30 was not beat until 2018. And
Hmm.
so people believe for a while that believe that level 30 could not be that no one could go past there. So what you're talking about, I think, is rolling where um where they're actually putting a finger on the button and then hitting the back of it. So you're like hitting the controller into your own hand pretty much so that was innovated in 2020 in 2021. So this is all just recently. So in 2021, 31 years after um the game was released. And then they hit level level 40. So like it was like weeks were going by where like people were beating the records. Um,
Mhm.
and then um the the kill screen was reached in, I can't even remember now. The first kill screen
I
was
get
reached,
okay.
I think, in 20. Well, anyways, the true kill screen, I'm moving ahead now, was reached in 2023 by a 13-year-old. So they found out through doing like data mining, I guess,
Yeah,
that
I remember. I remember when that happened. I just want to interject here. Just what's wrong with internet discourse and everything. Like I remember when that happened, there were so many comments when that news story got shared of people saying things like, "Oh, that's peak unemployment," or "That's somebody doesn't have a life," and everyone had to correct them and be like, "The kid's 13. Like he's
Mm.
yeah,
like it's not even time for him to have a life
yeah.
like you're talking about yet."
And the people who have beaten his records are also were also 13. Now they are like, I mean, they're still children now because this is
So
just a
Mhm.
few years
the
ago.
most recent, it looks like March 11th, 2024
Right,
was
right.
the highest score in NES
That
Tetris. Yeah. Okay.
that's what I was getting to. So they discovered, and there was actually a race to get to this true kill screen. The two pretty much top players in the world were live streaming at the same time trying to get to it. And the
Yeah.
reactions are, you can see it in the documentary. The reactions are just phenomenal when you see it because he's seeing something in the game that no one has ever seen before. And if you watch it, it gets
Mhm.
really crazy because there was a lot of discoveries with, if you get to a high level, the colors become flat, like they become like flat colors. And then in like in level 148, they nickname it the charcoal level because all of the blocks are like either black or gray. So for a while they thought like, who could get through this, because it's going to be a real challenge to actually see it. And they
Yeah.
knew that if you get past somewhere around like 155, you could reach a true kill screen where you cannot go any further. And that happened in 2023. It happened at level 153 and the game just broke. And that was, we call it the true kill screen now because you cannot even go any further. Now, they've made modified versions of the game, what you're talking about, and
Okay.
the record as it stands now, they found out that if you could get past the kill screen, level 255 would be considered a rebirth where you're actually, the game resets itself. Um, so they use a modified version of the game, and the record is now 347. It's ridiculous. So
Wow.
Yeah,
so
That's great.
just the videos you have on the side of the screen here are stressing me out. Like I
so
can't even
so
imagine having
like
the thought capacity.
like it is this, basically in the last 5 years, this game has seen just this entire, almost just like rebirth of new players and new innovations. And like, when do you see innovations of a game that is this old? I mean, I'm talking like it just goes, and then it's like exponentially just goes up and up and up. In the year 2020, more people got a max score in 2020 than the first 29 years combined. That's ridiculous. Like, that shows
Yep.
how much this game has grown, and I've been waiting to talk about it because, um, Tetris is awesome, and this is, like, some real nerd stuff um,
Hmm.
that is really interesting. So, yeah, the competitive part of Tetris, I think, is just as interesting as Tetris itself. Um
So where are you guys ranking these?
So I put columns at number 47. It's,
Oh,
fairly high up, but not
generous.
not that's about where like the mediocre range is. It's not bad, it's not great. It's just in that range. If you're curious what it's around, it's right below Mario Golf on Game Boy and right above uh Panel de Pawn on Super Nintendo, another puzzle game. And then the Tetris games obviously ranked higher. They're up in just outside my top 20. I like Tetris DX more than the original Tetris. Color, pretty much the same game otherwise. Um, and they're 21 and 22, and then the NES Tetris I'm going to rank a little bit lower just because I don't know, something feels a little off about it. It's really not sure what it is, but it's still Tetris. So that comes in at number 43.
All right, here's my wacky ranking. This is what I love about the rankings. So Columns is at number 116. My God, is that game boring? Uh, Tetris DX number 94. I don't know. That
I,
one feels off to me.
I think for me, Columns is a nostalgia game. Like I mentioned, my neighbors were a Sega house. It was like one of the games that I felt jealous of them for. Like I would go over
Okay.
there and they had Columns, and it was like
But
the
I did
game you
get
never had as a kid that you want, you know?
so NES Tetris number 32 and Game Boy Tetris number 20. It's just fun. I have nothing to say about it. It's just fun.
Before we wrap up, sorry, I forgot to put this in the segment. Just worth mentioning is the different variations of Tetris over the years as well. There's Tetris Sphere, 3D Tetris, Tetris Plus, Giga Tetris, Bio Tetris, New Tetris, all were like kind of different Tetrises. And one thing that I thought was interesting when I was looking into this is the Nintendo 64 has less than 300 games in North America, and yet 3 of them are Tetris games. You've got Tetris Sphere, Tetris 64, and New Tetris, all in the Nintendo 64. So I just thought that was interesting.
What are your numbers, Harrison?
Yeah, there should be a Kirby Tetris. Just
Yeah.
Oh
just
God,
combine
those are
those
my games.
together. I'd play it. Columns 110.
Okay.
Just all the I gave you all the criticisms about it. It's more of like a trademark to me. Uh, Tetris DX 60, Tetris NES 33, Tetris Game Boy 17, and this is nostalgia. Did anyone, and it's
Mhm.
up here right now, did anyone play it on the green screen? Because
Yep.
that's like my initial like memories of it is like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I definitely owned it back in the I owned an original Game Boy, so came with
You,
it.
yep.
Many a road trip spent playing Tetris.
yeah,
I also like randomly while we're talking about Tetris, my mom doesn't play any video games, and that was a video game that even she played. We had it on our Windows computer, and her and I would compete for the high score back and forth, and it's like might be the only game I've ever seen her play.
yeah,
Where were we?
and it's an example of a perfect game. Perhaps we do a
Mhm.
segment sometime on here where we talk about other examples of perfect games because I don't think it's a very long list. Because
Yeah.
if I
I
look at like
can
my
think.
favorite games of all time, a lot of them have problems. A lot of them have issues. So Tetris
Yep.
in itself, I don't think that you can add anything to it or take anything away. And it's almost like a formula in a sense where I'm almost surprised that it took someone that long to make the game of Tetris. Uh,
Mhm.
because it seems like such an easy concept that has translated into just being its own like franchise, its own empire almost. So yeah, very cool. And the maker of Tetris is still around today. He's still and he would play Tetris 99 with people, which was kind of crazy to think about. What are we playing next?
I was looking to see if there was there was a Tetris on Atari 2600, and there was. Just curious. Okay. So let's check out the old random machine. Okay, so next week we're going back to the Sega Genesis and we're going to be playing Alyssa Dragoon, which I don't know if either of you have played it. I have a little bit. It's kind of like Golden Axe meets Castlevania. If I had to describe it as two things combined, which I tend to describe things as. So yeah, it's a side-scrolling arcade beat 'em up. Castlevania meets Golden Axe. Alyssa Dragoon next week on Nintendo Therapy, the big draw. Hopefully we'll get a bigger game soon. So if you have any thoughts on that, come next week to hear those. Or send us your thoughts on that so we can say them next week. Come next week to hear us talk about it. If you have any other thoughts on anything else, any indie games on the Switch, any backlog games on your Switch you're carrying over, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you're sorry you never made it to on the Switch, and we'll talk about it. Other than that, we're Nintendo fans, not Nintendo experts. So just be kind in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.